Eagle vision does not tell me anything. Let me just start reading it, I guess. I've spent days with the artifact now, or has it been weeks, months? I can no longer be certain. The other comes from time to time, offering food and distraction. They say I should separate myself from the study. Malik has even suggested I abandon them entirely, but I will not yet. I can't read. But I am not yet ready to turn away. This apple of Eden will be understood. It must be. Is it a weapon? Is it a catalog? Or somehow both? He who increases knowledge increases sorrow. The philosophy of such a statement I can understand, but okay, I can't read. But for it to be true, literally true, a society that waged war for ideas and information in place of steel and sword. Its function is simple, elementary, even. Domination, control, but the process, the method and means it employs. These are fascinating. Those subjected to its glow are promised all that they desire. It asks only one thing in return, complete and total obedience. Oh my god, I can't read. And who can truly refuse? It is temptation incarnate. I remember my own moment of weakness when confronted by Al-Mualim. My confidence shaken by his word. He who has been like a father was now revealed to be the greatest enemy. Just the briefest flicker of doubt was all he needed to creep into my mind. But I vanquished his phantoms, restored my self-confidence, and sent him from the world. I freed myself, but now I wonder, did I really? How long is this? Holy crap! For now, I sit, desperate to understand that which I swore to destiny. This is why the apple has a tale to tell. I sense the flicker of something great and dangerous. We are all at risk. It is my duty to do something about it. I cannot turn away until I found the truth. No text data, zoom to see image. Here's the thing, I don't know what the zoom. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I can rotate it. Okay. I'll go through and rotating it one at a time, and I'll read any text that's there, I guess. If there's any text. This just tells you how the hidden blade works. There's no zoom. Okay, what follow are the three ironies of the assassin order? Number 1, here we seek to promote peace, but murders in our means. Number 2, here we seek to open minds of men, but required obedience to the master and set of rules. Number 3, here we seek to reveal the danger of blind faith, yet we are practitioner ourselves. I have no satisfactory answer for these charges, only possibilities. Do we bend the rules in service of greater good, or if we do, what does it say of us? That we are liars, that we are frauds, that we are weak. Every moment spent wrestling in these contradictions, and in spite of all the years I have reflected, still I can find no suitable answer, and I fear that one may not exist. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Does our creed provide the answer then? That one may be two things, opposite in every way simultaneously, and why not? Am I not proof? We of noble intention possesses the barbaric means. We who celebrate the sanctity of life and have and then promptly take it from those we deem our enemies. I can't read first. Page 5. Who were the ones that came before? What brought them here? How long ago? Centuries? Millennia? Longer still? So little remains of them. What drove them out? What of those artifacts? Message in a bottle? Tools left behind and aid and guide us? Or do we fight for control over their refuse, giving divine purpose and meaning to life more than discarded toys? Robert de Sable may be dead, but his brother survived. Though less conspicuous in appearance, I fear they remain a threat. Where once they proudly walked the streets, making for easy target, now they retreat into the shadows. It grows difficult to track them. What wicked things will they weave in the darkness? Our work will be all the more complicated for them. Already there's our rumor of movement of Cyprus. I will have to investigate. It made me realize that our tactics too must change. It means an end of our fortresses. Sure, it means an end to our fortresses, whatever. To our penance of spectacular display of public assassination, I must weave our web quietly, and we must do so differently than we had in the past. Though I ask my brothers now to abandon their rituals, I do not ask that they abandon the creed. This is what makes us assassins. Not the removal of our finger, not the false promise of paradise, not the prohibition of poison. Our duty is to the people, not to customs. If we must sneak, we shall sneak. If we must use poison, we shall use poison. If our blade can be used without removing the finger, we shall not demand they be taken. And we shall not manipulate our initiates with lies and parlor tricks. We shall speak plainly and honestly. We shall be made anew. There's so many. Oh my god. Oh my god. I thought Adhad would had the one to lead me to rest, that I may lay down my blade and live as a normal man. But now I know such dreams are best left to sleep. Her face, I tried to banish it from my mind as I remember the days and night during which I chased her. Templar's captors across the sea. I almost got to them in time, almost if I had only been faster. Instead of I held her lifeless body in my arms, saw the terror reflected in her fixed, unblinking eyes. I hunted each man one by one until all responsible were gone from the world. But there are no joy in this, no satisfaction in release. Their death did not bring her back, did not heal my wounds. After that, I am certain I would never again feel for a woman as I had for her. I am fortunate to have been wrong. So is that basically what Desmond basically lived through when we played as him that one time, and he basically had a flashback in his dreams or something like that? Am I wrong? Oh, there's so much reading. Okay, this one is just a paragraph. Why do our instincts insist on violence? I have studied interaction between different species. The innate desire to survive seems to demand the death of the others. Why can they not stand hand in hand? So many believe the world was created by the hand of divine power, but I see only the design of mad bent on celebrating destruction and desperation. Our origins seems chaotic, unintended, purpose and being instilled solely for the passage of time, imposed first by nature and later men. Over time, our sentence, uttered long and loud enough to become fixed, become the truth, provided, of course, we can outlast the dissent and silence your opponents. But should you succeed and remove all challengers, then what remains is by default now true. Is it true in some objective sense? No, but how does one ever achieve an objective point of view? The answer is you don't. I can't read. The answer is you don't. It is literally physically impossible. There are too many variables, too many fields and formulas to consider. We can try, of course, we can inch closer and closer to the revelation, but we never reach it, not ever. And now I have realized that so long that the Templar exist, they will attempt to bend reality to their will. They recognize there is no such thing as an absolute truth, or if there is, we are hopelessly unequipped to recognize it. And so in its place, they seek to create their own explanation. It is the guiding principle of their so-named New World Order. To reshape existence to their own image, it is not about artifacts, not about men. These are merely tools. It's about concept, clever of them. For how does one wage war against a concept? It is the perfect weapon. It lacks the physical form, yet can alter the world around us in numerous, often violent ways. You cannot kill a creed. Even if you kill all of the adherent, destroy all of its writing, there are reprived at best. Someone someday will rediscover it, reinvent it. I believe that even we, the assassins, have simply rediscovered an order that predates the old man himself. Oh, thank God, it's actually just a picture. Isn't that just religion praising the apple? If you think about it. More pictures, yes. What? The hidden blade has been a constant companion of ours over the years. Some would even say it defines us, and they would not be entirely wrong. Many of our successes would not have been possible without it. Still, a device has begun to show its age, and so it has been researching improvement beyond ending the needs of removing one finger to wield it. The first is the addition of metal plates that can be used to deflect incoming blows. The other assassins believe it is forged in new metal and credit me with the discovery of the formula includes on the page. It is better that they do not know the truth. I have also worked with Malik to describe new methods of assassination from on high and ledges from hiding place. Basic movement, but critical nonetheless. The third and final improvement is the most simple, the provision of the second blade. Identical to every way of the first. Should an assassin ever find himself tasking with dispatching 2 targets, he needs only one time. He only needs time. He need only time his strike in such a way that he might reach both at the same time. These blades will be limited in number since the metal with which we forge them remains difficult to obtain. I will need to think carefully about who shall be allowed to carry 2. Isn't that just the world map that I'm making at this point? I don't know why it took me that long to figure that out. I don't know. Okay. Man seeks domination over all the encounter. I suppose it is natural the tendency for us to aspire towards mastery of all surroundings, but this should not include other human beings. Every day more and more are pressed into service by deception or by force. Other thought not so firmly imprisoned are made to us as if their lives are worthless. I have seen the ways in which men persecute women. Heard the cruel world hurled all at those who come here for other lands. Watch as those who believe or act differently are made to suffer. We discuss such things often, watching as we do from the spire of Mazyaf. I don't know how to pronounce that location. What can be done to stop them? To encounter tolerance and equality. Some days we speak of education, believing that knowledge will free us from immorality. But as we walk the streets and see slaves sent off to auction, my heart grows cold. When I see the husband hurled abuses and stone at his wife, insisting she exists only to serve him, my fist clenches. And when I see children torn from the parents so that another man might profit, sent off to suffer beneath the desert sun and die. On these days, I do not think that dialogue will make a difference. On these days, I can only think of how the perpetrator needs to die. These images, thank you, image. No idea where this is. Mediterranean? The apple is more than a catalog of that which precedes us. Within its twisting, sparkling innards, I caught a glimpse of what will be. Such a thing should not be possible. Perhaps it isn't. Maybe it is simply a suggestion. How to know, how to be sure. I contemplate the consequences of these visions. Are they images of things to come, or simply the potential for what might be? Can we influence the outcome? Dare we try? Or in so doing, do we merely ensure that which we've seen? I am torn, as always, between action and inaction, unclear of which, if either, will make a difference. Am I even meant to make a difference? Still, I keep this journal. Is that not an attempt to change, or perhaps guaranteed what I have seen? Of all the things I've seen, none troubles me more than the images of flames. Pillars so tall they seemed to pierce the heavens. The ground rumbled and shuddered. Mountains split and cracked. Great metal towers splintered, their innards stewed from the ground. Strewn from the ground. And everywhere there are screaming, a chorus so terrible that even now I feel its echo still. What is the madness I've seen? Is it dumb, I wonder? Those who came before, is this where they went? Into the fire, into the dust? Perhaps the indestructible power is what the Templar seeks, that they might hold it over us and command devotion. What hope would we have done if we have held such darkness in our hands, that they could murder the world? Oh, please, images. This is a big paragraph, man. We are obligated to hide, to be silenced, to shape our course of history in secret, but some of my brothers and sisters disagree. They grow angry, insisting that it makes mistakes to shroud ourselves. They say it's slow our works, but they do not understand the risk. To expose ourselves now would be too dangerous. I fear we would be branded madmen and attacked. So it goes. So it always has. If there's one thing I know for certain is that men do not learn by being told. Instead, they must be shown. They must make the connection themselves. If I say unto a man, be kind, be tolerant, be of an open mind, these words will wither and die long before their effective changes. It would be a waste, and so we must maintain our course. Legend speaks of a golden fleece. Could the two be related? I have further refined a metallurgic process allowing for the production of a suit of armor the likes of which the world has never seen. It is possessed by great strength, yet so light as to allow complete freedom. I alternate between wonder and fear. Here we are crafted something that we will surely change the face of warfare, making those who wear it nigh invincible. Perhaps it is the mistake to create these pieces. I think it's best to erase the formulae. What if we what if it were to fall into the hands of an enemy? The risk is too great. And it's just talking about I think Altair's armor. I have studied ancient pagan faith that came before this more recent obsession with a single divine creator. It seems to have focused more on the fundamental focus at play of the world around us and less on arbitrary moral rules. The sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. The tide ebbs and flows. Grass grows, wither dies, and then in time emerges from the ground once again. The air turns warm, then cold, and back again. Some hidden energy keeps us fitted in the ground and pulls us back when we attempt to leave it. Each of these movements was represented before by a god or goddess, each force given face by recognized as something distinct and powerful, which is not to say there are a connection between of these forces, a pantheon of individual spirit or rules, invisible hands guiding the process of the world around us. And so here there is an attempt to categorize, study, and explain the understand the way things work, even if it was flawed, but no more. Now we are asked to succumb to the far more simplified explanation. How naive to believe might be a single answer to every question, every mystery, that there exists a lone divine light which rules over us. They say it is the light that brings love, truth, and love. I say it is the light that blinds us and forces us to stumble upon in ignorance. I long for the day when men will turn away from invisible monsters and once more embrace the more rational view of the world. But these new religions are so convenient and promise such terrible punishment should one reject them. I worry that fear shall keep us stuck to what is surely the greatest lie ever told. Almost there. One may cultivate extracts from various plants found throughout the region. More exotic species can sometimes be obtained from trader and travelers, but their properties are less documented and require further examinations. Traditional alchemical implements can be used to instill the poison. Care should be used, as certain poisons can be absorbed through exposed skin. Many of those who have lost their lives are to carelessness. One blade should be hollowed according to the specification listed herein. Deviations may create features such as within the metal, causing the blade to weaken and possibly break. And it's just talking about the poison blade, essentially. What to make of this map? It appears to contain the entire world, not flat as they claim either, but round, like a ball, like the apple. But how is such a thing even possible? Strangers still on the land, it flows great patches of unknown, the unexplored. So many places yet to be discovered. Are there men there? Are they like us? And if not, different how? I should like to know the answer. Perhaps in time I'll have the chance to travel, to chart the course, to make my way to these distant land. It's just the world map, but this is the world map before North America and South America was discovered. Ah, thank you. Images. Some days I miss my family, or at least the thought of them. I never knew my parents well, despite them both having lived within these walls. It was our way. Perhaps they were sad, though they showed no sign. It was not allowed. For my part, so much of my youth was spent in training. There are little time left to reflect upon the separation, and so when they were finally lost to me, it seems no different than passing of two strangers. Al-Mualim had been as my father, and his was the weak and dishonest love, though at the time it seemed enough, better even, or so I thought. Some days I will have a child, such in a way of our order, and I will not make the same mistakes, nor any who called themselves an assassin. We shall be allowed to love our children, and in turn to be loved. Al-Mualim believed such attraction would weaken us, cause us to falter when our lives were at the line. But if we truly fight for what it is, just does love not make such sacrifice simpler, knowing that we do so for their gain? It's a lot of reading. I have the answer now. I know the truth. I shall not touch the wretched thing again. Best that no one do, now or ever. I have tried at last to destroy it, but it will neither bend nor break nor melt. Oh, the irony. I am certain if I asked, the apple would tell me what needs to be done. But even if this promise is insufficient, always it holds one more gift to give. I must refrain. So it shall be sealed. We will take it to the island once they're now ours. There is a treasury there, hidden well, and it will shall have to suffice. Risky to separate myself from the artifact that others may discover it. Riskier still to keep it close. In times I will be tempted. I am weak. We all are. Who wouldn't be? Oh, the things I have seen, the tales it's here inside the text. Not between the lines, but beneath them, where only our eyes might peer. Go and see it for yourself. That you might succeed where I and the others have failed. Time marches on, bringing with it new discoveries and development, and so at least one day the doorway might be open to the message delivered. They will have their profit. Oh, more text. We are growing larger. More makes their way to the fortresses every day, men and women, young and old, from different lands or different faiths. Each tells a similar story of having discovered the first part of our creed, that nothing is true. Too often, though, the revelation undoes them. They lose their morality, certainty, security. Many of them driven mad. We must guide them, help them to heal. Their minds must not be filled with more fairy tales, but with knowledge instead. Let them have answers, and let those answers be difficult and complex, such as life. Success! We have found a way to alter the structure of the hidden blade so that it can be used to launch a small projectile. It is capable of grievous damage, even from the great distance. I confess that the means by which I came about the discovery was risky, to say the least. But I have found that the small doses and with the focused mind, the apple can be used without ill effect, or so I hoped. The knowledge of projectile combat is not new to us, having been observed amongst our eastern neighbors, but their weapons were much larger and insufficient for our needs. I have now found a way to miniaturize their design, embedding their fairy weapon into a form that can be worn on the wrist. We have also refined the formula for combustible powders such that common ingredient must be used. This is a dangerous bit of knowledge that it is best shared with only our closest ally. It's just talking about the wrist pistol that I used like a couple times in games. A Tark died. Oh my god. A dark tide rises in the east. An army of such size and power that the land is made quick to worry. Their leader is a man named Temujin, who has abandoned the title Genghis Khan. He sweeps across the land, conquering and subsuming all who stand in his way. Whatever his motive, he must be stopped. Were I younger, I might be attempting to undertake this work in secret, as I suspect the presence of the Piece of Eden. But those days are years gone now. The mantle must be passed. It is time she and I spoke with our son. We will travel there together, and then they may be tested, and that this threat might be stopped. Soon I shall pass from this world. It is my time. All the hours of the day are now colored by the thought of fear born of this realization. I know that the element of my body will return to the earth. But what of my consciousness, my identities? That is to say, what of me? I suspect it will end, that there is no next world, nor return to this one. It will simply be done forever. Our lives are so brief and important. The cosmos cares nothing for us, for what we've done. Had we wrought evil instead of good? Had I chosen to abuse the apple instead of seal it away, none of it would have mattered. There is no counting, no reckoning, no final judgment. There is simply silence and darkness, utter and absolute. And so I have begun to wonder: might there not be a way to stop, or at least delay, death embrace? Surely the one who came before were not so frail and feeble as we. But I have sworn to be done with the artifact, to not gaze into the core. Still, faced as I am with the prospect of my end, what harm is there in one last look? My voice. That's so much reading.